that Morris made Dr. Barrett do a lot of dishes, and so this may work to the quiz kid's disadvantage.
I almost forgot that.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I mentioned that in that case. We've had a lot of help from Ben Reith and Pat Bison getting us hooked up, and today electronically, and in terms of all our, well, starting the coffee and getting all the tables in place, and we appreciate the day staff for all they do for us. We're going to do this somewhat differently than what you see on Channel 13, even though one of our purposes is to give these people some good competition as they get ready for the season. We can't have them punch buzzers because we don't have buzzers. They'll pass these microphones around, and they'll raise their hands as a rule when they want to answer a question. If I'm uncertain who got the hand up first, I will appeal to our judge, and he will make the decision based on probably something having nothing to do with whether you got your hand up or not. Now, let's meet the Kingsford High School Bowl team. Pass the microphone down to Ms. Reed here, and tell us your name and what year you are in school.
I'm Keelan Reed, and I'm in 11th grade.
I'm Zoe Kedela, and I'm a sophomore.
Dylan Lawton, senior.
Alyssa Kanath, freshman.
Thank you. And other Iron Mountain team.
Patrick Keeley, senior.
Bridget Kennedy, senior.
Patrick Merkel, senior.
Marco Sabrin, senior.
All senior group. But these seniors, but they're not nearly as senior as this group in the middle. Now pass the microphone down, and we want to find out not only what your name is, but where you went to high school, and whether you were valedictorian. Because if you were valedictorian, Dr. Barrett may have to reduce the points you get for right answers because that would be unfair. So, Ben, if you would take the microphone, please. On your table, yes.
Just a minute, there's going to be a 10-point penalty against the seniors in that they first had to be told twice to take the mic, and second, they didn't know where the mic was. -10 for seniors.
I begin to get a sense of what's going to happen here.
Everyone biased.
My name is Ben Betterman. I graduated from Clinton High School in Clinton, Iowa. What was the fourth question?
Another 5 points.
What did you have for breakfast?
Certainly not the valedictorian.
All right.
All right, that takes the last 5 off. You're back to only 10 minus.
I'm Horace Walters, and I graduated from Iron Mountain High School, and I'm still a senior. Did you want anything else, Bill?
No, that's fine. You did very well.
I'm Kayla Carlson. I was a senior in 1964, and I'm still a senior.
Where were you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Another 5 points off.
My husband and I graduated from Iron Mountain High School the same year, and we weren't the valedictorians or salutatorians.
That gets rid of that -5.
I'm Lola Johnson. I graduated from Iron Mountain High School, class of 61. I was not valedictorian, and I told these guys we should have brought a bride. They wouldn't listen.
Bribes do not have any influence.
Dr. Barrett has promised to be fair and balanced. We all know what that means. Now, the first institution of which we all are part is the family. And so our first round of questions has to do with family. Who said, happy families are all alike, but every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way? Kennedy.
Barry.
Who?
J.M. Barry.
J.M. and Barry may have said it, but he did not say it first. This person said it in a language other than English. Happy families are all alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Leo Tolstoy, the opening sentence of Anna Karenina. Okay, sisters, I will say the names, the first names, and you will give the last names. Serena and Venus.
Williams.
Williams, indeed, the tennis playing seniors. Not seniors, tennis playing sisters. We'll see if we can help the group in the middle here. Diane, Kathy, Peggy, and Janet. Little. Lennon, the Lennon sisters, singing sisters. Anne, Emily, and Charlotte. Lola. Bronte. Now here's one that might be rather interesting because these are people who are important, but well, let me just ask it. Stefania and Helena. The Podgorski sisters. They were in Poland at the time that Nazis took over. Stefania was 16, her little sister was 6. They began to take in Jewish refugees when their brother and mother and father were all shipped off to, yes, Dr.
Let me ask a question. These questions seem to be favoring the older group. I would like you to be more unbiased in your questions.
Have you noticed how infrequently this group is answered
Well,
now?
we've kind of got back to break even now.
All right. All right, we'll go with brothers. You will know about the brothers, perhaps. Cain and Abel. Let's go with Catola on this one because I know you got a first Merkel, but last name of Cain and Abel. Jones was their last name. That is not in all the Hebrew manuscripts.
Well, you should get 5 points for that because you kind of misled that.
She got her hand up.
She did. Dmitri, Ivan, Alexei, and Pavel. Merkel?
Datsuk.
Say again?
Datsuk.
No. Saffron, you had your hand
I was
up.
gonna say Pavel Datsuk, but.
Merkel, Healy. Karamazov, actually. The brothers Karamazov. Fyodor Dostoevsky's famous novel. Joe, Dom, and Vince.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I will repeat it, although Saffron had his hand up. Joe, Dom, and Vince.
DiMaggio?
DiMaggio, yes.
That Iron Mountain gets the point.
Now, do you know, let's follow a question just for the Iron Mountain team.
This is kind of an extra question.
Yes.
This is a bonus question.
It's a bonus question.
Did you talk about bonus questions before we started the contest?
We were very trusting that you would
Ask the question.
give them the right points. Yes. What position did the brothers play? They all played the same position, Joe, Dom, and Vince. Anybody on the other teams? Okay.
Center field.
Center field is correct. They all play center field. Which one was the oldest? Vince. And he started his career with the Boston Bees. But they are not the Boston Bees anymore. What team did they eventually become? Atlanta Braves. Merkel got that correct. Let's see. While we're on baseball, which set of brothers set the all-time major league record for home runs?
The Wagner brothers.
Incorrect. Healy, Johnson?
Dean?
No. They set the all-time record for bad grammar. The Dean brothers did. It's okay to use the microphones, by the way. Healy, you had your hand up. No. Anybody else here? What was the question? Oh. The all-time home run record by brothers was set by the Aaron brothers, Hank and Tommy. Hank had 750 and Tommy had 18. So That's the all-time record. Each moderator is dysfunctional in his own way. We go on to childhood, because that's what we are first as children and the family. Who wrote Goodnight Moon?
Rudyard Kipling.
No, that's a good guess though, but it wasn't. Trevor?
The author?
The author. Was Margaret Wise Brown the author?
Yeah.
Yes, he's right again.
Let him finish.
Oh. Who wrote Goodnight iPad? Goodnight iPad. Yes,
Steve Jobs.
that's a good guess too, but no, wrong. Herbert, if you have your hand up,
I would say Steve Jobs.
no, wrong on both counts. Well, I'm going by the Amazon website, Android.
I would have said Steve Jobs, so you get my point.
Who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Johnson.
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl, correct.
Is there a replacement for
Who wrote When We Were Very Young? A. Milne. Who wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends?
Shel Silverstein?
Absolutely correct. Everybody got a point. And who wrote If I Ran the Circus? Healy?
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss, indeed, yes. That's one of those tricky ones because we know him so much better for Cat in the Hat and Green Eggs and Ham. And how many of you remember seeing Jesse Jackson read Green Eggs and Ham on Saturday Night Live in typical Southern preacher style? Very, very funny. All right. Now, in the family, cooking must be done. But you're visiting in Canada and you want to impress your host by cooking your famous bratwurst pie. Your recipe calls, in addition to 1 5/8 pounds of lard, for it to be in the oven for an hour at 450 degrees. But your recipe is in Fahrenheit and the oven is in Celsius. For what temperature do you set the oven if it calls for an hour at 450 degrees?
Aren't we supposed to get pencils and paper?
No, because we forgot them, so.
That's a very good question. We'll give you another 5
Oh.
minutes.
Kennedy,
You call your grandmother and ask her.
you call your grandmother and ask her. That's a pretty correct answer.
Sorry, what's the oven temperature again?
450.
450.
450.
You can convert that.
I can't even convert Kelvins in my head.
Well, nobody else even knows what a Kelvin is. 230. 450 would be 230. All right, when you eat, when you do that cooking, you got your bratwurst pie, you've got to use a fork. If you want to eat, you use a dinner fork. Which fork do you use if you want to sing? Many people got that, well, but we haven't gotten any from you. What is it?
Tuning fork?
Tuning fork, correct. Who was called America's tuning fork? Yes.
You're gonna have to say Beyonce.
That may be true, but she was not the first one to be called that. America's tuning fork. Big singer, folk singer.
I like her answer better.
Like Beyonce. At least in the movies, if a Native American wants to say someone is lying, what image does he use? Yes.
Yellow Belly?
No, Johnson?
Speak with a forked tongue.
Speaks with forked tongue. Remember, this forks are the category. Who said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it?
Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra, yes indeed. Now follow
Fair
up.
answer, the audience back here, did I hear somebody in the audience answer that? This is important stuff, we don't want to take away from our panel.
That's right. It was just an echo, I
It
think.
was. I
Follow-
missed who got the answer.
Healy. And a follow-up for him, since he got that correct. Who said, I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference?
Robert Frost.
Robert Frost. Thank you, Merkel.
Now it says right here.
Now, one of the first things you learn in the family is language. One of the first words you will learn, of course, is funambulist. What is a funambulist? Merkel.
Whatever you want it to be.
Whatever you want to be, kind of, but not really. Remember who wrote remember the book that Dr. Seuss wrote that we talked about? Okay,
A circus conductor.
a tightrope walker. Funambulist. What is a somnambulist? Johnson? Sleepwalker. You high schoolers should get this. What is it? A necroambulist? Seven.
Zombie.
A zombie, yes. Dead walker. Compressed phrases. What is slow-mo? Everybody comes up with that, but we haven't heard from Lawton. What is slow-mo? Slow motion, indeed. If you expand it, what is Hojo? Johnson?
Howard Johnson.
Howard Johnson's.
I don't like it.
To what does Flojo refer?
I can sing Baby Got Back, does that count?
No, it does not. Johnson, are you next?
Florence Joyner.
Florence Joyner Griffith, who was the fastest woman in history. She's still.
You get 5 points for your enthusiasm.
Kennedy is not allowed to answer this question because I learned the answer from her. Compressed phrase, hobo. What does that mean?
Unfair. Not fair.
But I know you,
You heard almost everything from her.
Also,
Also, you said that I'm a valuable source. That does not mean it's correct.
it is true that I have learned most things from her. All right, go ahead. What does hobo mean? Merkel,
Homeward bound.
homeward bound.
there are no points, no points for that answer.
Protest. She did not give you the answer. She did not give the answer. I gave the answer.
Soldiers returning from the Civil War would hop on trains because they were homeward bound, and it got shortened to hobo. So that's why that continues to this day. Well, that goes on to the more language, the language of lines. What kind of line is the Mason-Dixon line?
County line?
No. Who was over there? Let's go with Healy.
State boundary line.
No. Kennedy?
Geographic.
A geographic line. It's also a political line, but it didn't follow county or state lines. What is a 75-pound test line? Oh, a fishing line, yes indeed. What is a line in the sand? What kind of line is that? Tavern.
The kind you draw with a stick.
That is correct, but we're looking for something else.
No, I think
Challenge?
It is a challenge, yes, but Johnson is.
Doctor, these folks were next.
Oh, sorry, Judge, I didn't.
Well, you got it.
Temporary?
That's true too. All these are correct. Kennedy?
A boundary.
It is a metaphorical line in terms of language.
Well,
kind of line is this? Hey, baby, you must be from outer space.
That's a pickup line,
That's
and
a
the answer
pickup
is
line,
no.
yes. Now, when you begin to get out of the family, you realize that you're surrounded by nature, and you begin to see that there are other animals in addition to yourself. The smallest mammal is what? The smallest mammal that you will find in nature. Go.
Lemmings?
Close, but no cigar.
Can't smoke.
Really? Actually, a shrew or bat. They both weigh about the size of about the weight of a dime.
Where did you get these questions?
Even Bill doesn't know the
Internet.
answers.
Uncle John's bathroom reader.
That's fair. That's fair.
Actually, I got these all off the internet because everything there is true. The largest mammal. Johnson.
A whale?
Which kind of whale? Salmon? Stover.
Whale shark?
No, not quite. Healy?
Blue whale.
Blue whales, correct, yes. And this is kind of a sad, but what does exportation mean? Stover?
To be an expert?
No. In terms of nature and mammals, what does exportation mean? It's the extinction of the species in a particular geographical region. Now, one of the institutions you have to deal with, whether you are religious or not, is religion, because it's a part of all societies. What is the official name of the religious group commonly called Mormons? Let's go with Walters hasn't done anything yet.
Church of the Latter-day Saints.
Almost. Carlson, you had your hand up. You have
I was going to say
the same thing. Purple?
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In what language is the Old Testament written? Right, Penrith, we haven't gotten you yet. Hebrew is correct. In what language is the New Testament written? Johnson was up first. Greek. What language did Jesus speak? Kennedy. Aramaic. What are the four noble thoughts of Buddhism?
Where do you get these questions?
I'm a scholar. I know these things.
Is it important for everybody to know?
Yes, they are important for everybody to know because
Do we have to name them all, or can we name one?
you could name one, yes, of the noble thoughts of Buddhism.
These are worth
I
5 points each.
Honesty.
That would be a good one, and that is part of the Eightfold Path, which is the fourth of the noble truths of Buddhism.
So do I get 1/8?
1/8 of a point.
1/8 of 5 points is 0.4 points.
Well, name any of the 5 pillars of Islam. Merkel.
A Hajj.
Well,
That's right.
that's right.
Yep.
Okay.
I thought this originally, you're right.
I don't know if we should have one of the
Mothers?
contestants' mothers answering, but yes, that is. They give Waffle some points there too because he got it.
Well done.
If you study well, Savron,
Oh, just kidding. I'm not going to answer another the last question.
if you study well, you might get to go to college. And if you go to which college will your teams be known as the Banana Slugs? Healy.
University of California, Santa Cruz.
Absolutely correct. If you go to which college will your teams be known as the Bridges? The Bridges. Brooklyn University. If you go to which college will your teams be known as the Ichabods? Savron?
Sleepy Hollow University.
That's a good. There is no Sleepy Hollow University, unfortunately. But there is a Washburn University in Topeka, Kansas. If you go to which university will your teams be known as the Fighting Camels? The Fighting,
what?
the Fighting Camels.
Fighting camel?
Camels,
Camels.
yes. Campbell University in North Carolina are the Fighting Camels. Mrs. Driscoll, are we at the point where you want to rotate other people in? Okay.
Is there a halftime so these young folks can refresh themselves against the onslaught? I mean, there's cookies and good stuff in the back.